as a Nigerian youth who is going through the frustration and the hardship in the country, I can't help but do what is a common practice among Nigerian youth, which is to sit down and meditate about the problem and the way forward in the country. During the period of my meditation, I realized that there is one major problem with Nigeria. Nigeria will have a political landscape that promotes villainous men or villainous politicians, put them in power and maintain them in power. So I would like to read to you what came up during the period of my thinking. There is no country in the world without villainous men who have interest in politics. Likewise, every country have good men who want to be leaders. The villainous men want power by all means, and they abuse it when they get it, while the good men want power to represent the people's mandates, and they use it to serve the good of the humanity. The political landscape of a country determines whether good men or the villainous men will thrive in politics. If good men thrive, villainous men will lose, and if villainous men thrive, good men will become political failures. Just like when a garden is conducive for weeds and pests to thrive, the fruit and vegetable will not survive. But when we remove the weeds and pests and cultivate the soil, the fruit and vegetable begins to blossom. The Nigerian political landscape have been infested with weeds and pests for too long. The pests and the weeds are villainous men who we often call the cabals. The cabals in Nigerian politics are corrupt politicians who promote detrimental political philosophy, which give them unfair advantage in election and make them unanswerable to the masses when they occupy the position of power. The political success of the cabal is dependent on ethnic division of the masses. This is why most politicians in Nigeria promote ethnic divide, especially at the presidential level. Transforming the political landscape of Nigeria can be done by simply changing Nigerian political philosophy from a philosophy of ethnic division to a philosophy of unity. This may seem hard to do, but it's quite simple. Ethnic division in Nigeria is built around a general sense of bias against the Igbo people because they are believed to have caused the Nigerian civil war. During the Nigerian civil war, Igbos were subjected to all kinds of human degradation and abuse of human rights, and by the end of the war, their properties outside Igbo land was declared abandoned property and handed over by the government to the indigenes where the properties exist. Their money in the banks in Nigeria were confiscated by the government of Nigeria. Nigerians believe that all tribulations against the Igbos were well deserved. With the Nigerian civil war, villainous politicians bought our bias in favor of abusing the human rights of every Nigerian. By doing it to the Igbos, they have laid the foundation that it can be done to every citizen of Nigeria. The villainous politicians who came to power and many people in the ethnic groups that triumphed from the civil war has continued to maintain the ideology that hating the Igbos is the only means to be a true Nigerian. They use the ideology to maintain ethnic division in Nigeria, and they use the ethnic division to continually achieve and constantly maintain power. To these villainous politicians, Igbos have remained the testing ground for the limit of abuse of power. When the government and the villainous politicians abuse the Igbo, they use the established bias to gain the support of every citizen who are not Igbos. What most Nigerians do not know is that after abusing the human rights of the Igbos, the government and the villainous politicians have laid the foundation that such abuse can be done to every citizen of Nigeria. When the government or the villainous politicians start abusing the right of the people in other tribes, the same way they have abused the Igbos, Nigerian citizens find it hard to fight for their rights because they have supported the government to use the same abuse on certain group of the citizens. This ends up making the villainous politicians and the people in government above the law. They embezzled our money, abused our human rights, and we feel far too removed from the government because in the attempt to make the Igbos powerless in the government, every citizen of Nigeria has made themselves powerless towards the government. Corruption and the human degradation in the hand of government and the villainous politicians will continue to thrive in Nigeria until we say no to hate the Igbos politics, until we realize that when we make hating the Igbos patriotic, we cannot have another form of patriotism because the thought that one tribe is being cheated with the support of every other tribe create fear in every other tribe that they will be equally cheated if they do not fight for their ethnicity. This causes ethnic paranoia, xenophobia, and strengthens ethnic divide against nationhood. The stronger the ethnic divide, the more the political landscape will favor villainous politicians. Rigging of election, corruption, and abuse of human rights will become the only way to achieve and maintain power. the good men who want to lead this country to progress cannot partake in this kind of policies. So they will continue to lose, and the country will continue to deteriorate. To save our country Nigeria from villainous men and hand power over to good men, we must rebel against the government and the villainous politicians when they abuse the rights of people in other tribes, especially the Igbos. If we can do this, the villainous politicians will become powerless to abuse us and exploit us as Nigerians. Automatically, we will have the power to demand for our rights. This will make the villainous politicians to abdicate themselves from politics because they lack the substance to become good leaders. If they have what it takes to be good leaders, they will not rely so much on detrimental political philosophy of ethnic division. Only when we have transformed the political landscape will good men rise in politics and lead our nation to progress. Thank you for listening. This is my first episode of Sermon on the Nation.